Okay, we've got the engine freed from the motor stand, and we'll put a couple of these, the plate and the flywheel and stuff, we'll get that on there. That way we can get ready to set this into the chassis. Put this flywheel back on. I'll just go ahead and blast this real quick just to clean all this up so that the mounting surfaces look good on here. Okay, we're ready to put the flywheel on. I've put the plate, just kind of setting it in position there. We got to put that on before you put the flywheel on, or you can't get it on. Notice at the 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock position, the tapered bolts are still there. In the service manual, and you take this off, sometimes the tapers, they won't stay, and then the replacement screw gets put in. In this case, they're still there. So I'll just line the flywheel up to the same 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock position on those tapers. And then on the flywheel, there's a flat side and a curved side. The curved side is going to go toward the block because you got to mount the clutch plate on this flat side over here. The beauty of the taper still being in there is that the concentricity is still good for the flywheel to the crank. Ready to put the clutch plate and assembly on. You can see this spline piece here. The taller side goes toward the transmission. That way, that when you put that into there, you should see that spline. That spline's got to stick up on this side. As I get ready to snug these bolts up, what I'll do is I'll hold this clutch plate centered. You can see everything kind of touches the edge, so I'll kind of hold those in place as I tighten these bolts to keep this centered. That'll make the transmission line up better. I do have the new throwout bearing, and so since this is left-hand drive, you're on the left side of the car, this pin goes in that hole and the presser goes through the hole on that side, and then the replacement is right here. You can see there's just a little spring keeper in there, so I'll pull the spring off and put the new clutch throwout bearing in. A little bit of prep work getting ready to join these two. Put the new throwout bearing in there, and then I've got it balanced on a piece of wood so I can raise and lower the engine or transmission to start to match these up. And I'll bring the engine down close to it here just so I don't have to have the jack up so high. Quickly explain why I'm going to join those two, put them together in as a unit. Here's the front motor mounts, here and here. There's a big bracket on the front of the motor that'll set over those. And then back here, I've got these mounts that bolt through the transmission and the plate. So there's a lot of things to line up there. So I'll get the transmission bolted on with the plate lined up, and then these guys go through a couple of the bolts that bolt the transmission to the motor. So that'll give me the alignment whenever I set it down. I can get the motor on the front pins, and then these guys will sit down here, and I just have to reposition them to line up. And they've got alignment that's metal so that they match into those holes there. Okay, we're very close. I took the inspection cover off the top, and you can see we're almost got the spline lined up. So it's just right there. Just got to get a little bit more alignment, and it should slide together. Okay, we got the transmission fully bolted together. Top bolts is the side bolt. And then it's got these brackets under there, and those brackets have these square spacers under there. Same thing on the other side. Those are what'll mount to the brackets over there. Put it in there. Okay, I tied the exhaust header, the exhaust pipe over to the side just a little bit. It's flexible, and that's what was catching on the oil pump. Let's see if we can slowly let this down again. Do is get this motor mount in here so it'll help to tilt the engine. Okay, we've got the mounts there. This one's positioned. Just rotate it a little bit and let it down a little bit to rotate the other side some. Got a jack under the transmission to keep that rear end up. It's getting really close now. Now that I got those mounts in, I had messed up and put this bolt in. You got to leave this bolt out so that you can attach this, or put this bracket here on with that when you tighten it up and don't quite get it all the way tight, because you got to rotate it and line this hole and this hole up. So there's two bolts on the bottom of this. There's a bolt that goes through here, and then the long bolt here. So now it's just a matter of letting it down just a little more, get this bolt through, get that one started. Okay, got the motor and transmission completely mounted. Went ahead and attached the exhaust manifold with the gasket, and then I've still got the fuel pump to put on here. I've got a rebuild kit coming in a couple days on that. We can mount the carburetor yet, put the water thermostat piece, thermostat housing on that. And then on the other side, we've still got the distributor, which I got my vacuum advance in today, so maybe we can get the distributor put on there. Okay, got the distributor in there. There's only one way to line it up and get it in there. I just reversed the procedure when I took this apart. And I cleaned up that oiler, greaser, and RPM tachometer gauge comes out of the bottom there. So that's all set. Put the 2 nuts holding the carburetor on because we rebuilt that carburetor already. And tomorrow we'll work on putting the water the gasket on for the water hose there.